Hi everybody, Laura here from My Favorite Things. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a clean and simple, yet interactive, it's a light up Christmas card. I'm going to start with this Birch Tree cover-up Die-namics die. It just came out in the November release. I'm going to die cut it into some white cardstock. It makes the perfect A2 size cover die. I went ahead and trimmed a panel of light aqua cardstock, and I'm going to glue the Birch Tree on top of it. I'm just using some liquid glue, slapping it down, loosey-goosey style. We're going to end up trimming this up. You certainly don't have to trim it up because it is beautiful when you leave it in that A2 size format. It's very beautiful. But I had an idea and I wanted to go with it. So I took a circle die and I die cut right into this panel. And so the circle die is going to be like our focal thingamajiggy. But I needed some snowy hills. So I pulled out the Serene Sunset Die-namics die set to die cut some snowy hills. Now, I made a card for this earlier in the month where I used the Serene Sunset dies to make mountains. But hey, they can make snowy hills too. Very versatile set. You want to make mountains? You want to make snowbanks? You want to make waves? Got you covered. Okay, so I'm slapping on a couple of these little snowy hills. And now I wish I would have done all this before I die cut the circle. But you know how it goes. Every card is an evolution. And I didn't have, I wasn't thinking ahead. It just goes how it goes. So I just trim it with the scissors. And then I realized I need another snowy hill on the left-hand side. So I went ahead, die cut another one, and I'm just going to kind of nestle that over on the left, like so. And of course, you could use tape runner. Whatever tickles your adhesive love and heart. Again, trimming that out with the scissors. Okay, so now we have our circular snowy birch tree background. For the images, I'm going to use the sweet deer and trees from this Dear Sweet Friend stamp set, which also came out in the November release. I'm using some Copic-friendly black ink so I can color these in with my Copics. You can see my caps there, just using 4 shades of a light brown. I like to keep the deer on the lighter side. By the way, speaking of deer, we have several deer just running through our yard on the daily, and they are getting the antlers. Every day you look and the antlers are just poking right out. They're getting so majestic. But our dog Hank, if he sees one, he is gone. Like he will chase them all the way down the street and back. And I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do about Hank the Tank. He's running off now. He's 6 months. He's getting a little frisky. Is he a teenager? I don't know. It seems like he's got an attitude. I think we're going to have to put a leash on him. At night, at least. When he wants to go to the bathroom at night, I just can't do it. I can't do it at 9:30, run down the street when Hank chases a deer. But he does pretty good in the day. It's just at night he gets a little frisky. Okay, color in the Copics. Add a little green to the trees. Little rosy cheek. Very simple. Using the coordinating dies to cut out these sweet little images. By the way, did I mention this is going to be Rudolph? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Okay, so earlier this week, I made a card. First time I've ever done a light-up card with the Easy Lights. And I bit the Easy Light bug. Okay, so as soon as I saw this deer, I knew I wanted to make Rudolph and make the nose light up. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're making Rudolph with the nose light up. Here's I'm going to punch little holes for the tree and the deer. I'm just using my little hole puncher, which makes it so incredibly fast and easy. I mean, forget about it. Now, you just got to make sure you get it lined up in the right spot. Now, for Rudolph, you're going to have to take a little chunk right off his nose. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, so here's the Easy Lights. They have several different variations. This particular one I'm using here, when you put the battery in, press the button, it has 3 little mini lights. So I'm going to line up these lights behind the 2 trees and the deer nose. So I'm simply just flipping it over, lining up the light with each hole. I'm using some score tape just to hold that light in place. There are so many different ways you can assemble these cards, and I am by no means an easy light specialist. Okay? I am learning as I go, but I got to tell you, every time I do it, I get more and more hooked. And I know they're not cheap, but they're not too bad, really. I think it's worth it because, I mean, look at it. Just look at it. And when I show these cards to my family, they think the world of me. And that's really what it's all about. Okay, so now you gotta think about where you want your button to go. And I'm going to put the button right on the deer's tushy. Right on the deer's tushy. Like so. So you kind of eyeball it. I put a little score tape on the back of my battery base, and I'm adhering this onto the card base, so my battery button goes right where the deer tushy's gonna go, like that. Now I feel like I'm making a hot mess of this video. It's kind of hard. I'm taping down the wires so they stay in place. I'm putting a little foam tape, not too much, but just enough. You have to double up your foam tape. At least my particular foam tape, unless you have foam tape that's thick enough. If you don't, you're like me, you gotta double it up. Center your panel, press it down. Bada boom, bada bing, we got Rudolph. Now you could stop right there, but I thought, hey, it's the holidays. Let's zhuzh it up. So I have these little jewels. They're by Pinkfish Studio, but if you have any, the nice thing about these is they're kind of clear. So it will allow a light to really show through. I don't know, maybe other type of embellishments will work just as fine. I didn't really test out different. I just pulled these ones out and I glued them on. I just put a little bit of glue around the opening of the hole punch and slapped down 2 yellow ones for the top of the tree and a red one for Rudolph's nose. Now, for the sentiment, I wanted something classic. So I pulled out the iconic Christmas stamp set, and I'm going to emboss this in white onto black. Like to keep it clean and classy for the holidays. I actually joined, I've never done this before either, but this year I joined a little card gift exchange type thingamajiggy with some crafty friends, where you send 7 cards to somebody and they send 7 back to you. It's almost like, you ever done a cookie exchange? One time I did a cookie exchange. You take a dozen cookies to someone's house, and everyone else who comes brings a dozen cookies, and then you mix them all, and you go home with this huge assortment of Christmas cookies. Well, it's kind of like that, only it's cards. And Lord knows, I got Christmas cards coming out the wazoo. And there you have this card while I was blabbing away. A very clean and simple, yet interactive and light up Christmas card. Now, if you have someone in your life that loves Rudolph, this one is going to just light their fire. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.